When I bought this place like 5 or 6 years ago, 7 years ago, the whole idea was I would go on YouTube and see people have their own escapes away from the city and just doing really cool things, you know, like out in nature. I just wanted a place where I could escape, you know, and my friends and family and guests could come out here and just get away from city life and just kind of just remember what it is to live really, really simply and affordably and just do what it is you want to do. If you want to yell, if you want to shoot guns in the air, or if you want to turn the music up loud, or if you just want to listen to the birds, just wanted somewhere in nature that I could just call my own. Speak. Sit. Straight up. Piper, what a baby! It's a cow skull we found down the road. All right, this is a cheer stand. It's kind of like a playoff of a deer stand. A lot of hunters hunting deer stands around here, and we have a lot of cheer in here. Yeah, right now the inside's currently being used as storage, but you can still kind of get the idea. Check this out. This is a light system to where it's just nothing you can't really see here. Rocks, there's rocks down in there. So when you pull this right here, the gravity from the rocks lights up this, and this, and the whole place gets lit up at night just from gravity. We used to hang out in here mostly before my father put the tiny house in here, but now that the tiny house is here, we've been glamping instead of camping. This is the outhouse. Busted. We would come out here, my father and I would come out here on the weekends over the course of what? Several months and just build it a little bit, and it ended up costing about, the whole project was like $1,200. But the funny thing was this place is completely off grid, so we had to crank up generators, we had to put solar panels in the sun to power up our electric things, and every single piece of this is before we had a driveway, so we had to lug each piece of this in. That's one we just built, like what, in April? It's not finished. It's got a window up there, and that's to let a lot of the heat out, because the bottom portion of the house is lower, and so the hot air travels up this way and comes out. Not a lot to it. Yeah, but this one will be really cool because the whole idea is half of the roof will be a sleeping loft, and over here you'll be able to just kind of look out because this thing's on skids, so we can actually move it anywhere on the property that we want. The whole entire place will be made for, like, for example, this fall we already have a group of 8 women who are going to use the entire place as a yoga retreat. Also be used to those types of things, and also like on Airbnb and things like that. Wasp. Ah! My dad had solar panels over there, and the problem was all these trees were in the way, and the original idea was to chop a lot of them down, but that's just obviously not cool, so we put them in this big pasture over here. Yeah, but these are the solar panels. We built this array out of just leftover material, so it was free, and we already had these panels, and the power goes down through the ground, out way over there about 100 yards. But this whole array is about 600 watts, which is more than enough, because in North Carolina we get about 6 hours of direct sunlight a day. So if you say 6 times 600, it's 3.6 kilowatts if you're into that type of stuff, which is way more than enough to power my father's tiny house. Each one of these are like, let's see, 180 bucks, but they last for 30 years. These are from a company called Renogy, actually. I've worked for many years with Renogy, so they were kind enough to give us these. Yeah, so this goes straight into a battery bank, which I'll show you guys in just a second. And the batteries just hold energy until you need them. But if you look at a lot of these systems, they're built on like an aluminum frame, aluminum system that costs sometimes thousands of dollars. And this does the trick. We did this with just leftover wood in a couple of hours. So saved some good coin. You can see this is satellite internet. So this, whenever my dad wants to get on his iPad and surf the web, it comes, from his house to here, out to space, gets the information and beams it back, and all that information goes right into the tiny house. Dad, you started drinking yet? So this is the battery bank. It consists of 4 200 amp hour batteries, which is a lot of energy. So this is the cable right here. It comes up from out there in the solar panels, charges these up. Then there's a battery controller that says, hey, you had enough energy, and it stops once these are topped off. And this is the inverter. So the inverter goes through the battery charger. This is DC power, and the inverter turns it into AC power, which makes it usable for regular things like TVs and stuff like that. This is a shelter we built last year. It's 12 feet wide by, I think, 22 feet long. And the whole purpose of it is rain gets collected on the roof and it goes down into this gutter, and then everything gets transferred here into these 3 275-gallon IBC totes. The water by gravity goes here, and there's a small RV pump that pressurizes the whole entire house. And so whenever he needs any kind of water, it just comes from here, it gets pressurized and goes into the house. And then whenever he has gray water, it goes through this pipe way out into the woods. So he uses things like biodegradable, all natural detergent and soaps and things like that, so it won't harm the ground or the soil. This thing is called the Pantheon, and so it sits on casters, which means it can go through all on flat casters right now. But this can be towed anywhere on the property, because with just any kind of truck or even a ride lawnmower or a four-wheeler. This one's pretty bare bones right now. We're gonna add a couple things into it, obviously a bed, but this is old fence pickets from a house that I used to own that I took the fence down and made flooring out of it. And the whole goal will be to have a raised bed, small little kitchenette here, and then we'll have a deck off of the end somewhere. And this will accommodate just a few people for the weekend. This is my favorite one. This one, as you can see, it's the shape of a trapezoid, so it's called the crapazoid. And this one was built for about 800 bucks, something like that. And this is one I've been spending the most time in lately. I put a little wood stove in there this past winter. I did some videos where I baked some bread in here, spend time, just talk about tiny house stuff. Very, very basic. This thing is definitely not set up for full-time living. For what it is, for a couple-day getaway, for me, it's perfect. When you're out in the country and something breaks, you gotta figure out a way to fix it. In the winter, when this is really hot, you can hang clothes up here to dry. All the hot air comes up and dries it. This whole place is powered by this battery pack. I have another one down there. So I wired the whole place up, and you just turn this on and it'll light everything up, the lights, and you can charge everything with it. A lot of van dwellers are using this because you can put a lot of solar energy to this one. And it's got the 30 amp, which will literally, you can plug your entire tiny house in it and everything will turn on. This thing's awesome. You open it up like this, then you put your food in there and slide it in and point it in the sun, and it will cook just about anything. It'll get up to about 600 degrees. It's called a solar oven. Yep. You wanna see the outdoor kitchen that I've been working on? I was working on this past winter, early spring, and it just got hot and I haven't had a chance to come out here. But the whole idea behind this is to have like a congregation area for people who are staying out here to have somewhere to hang and in the summer get away from the heat. This right here is a really cool thing that I've been working on. This is a pizza oven. So you can see I've used it a few times, but all of the interior out here is made of clay this whole entire property has clay. Even that's clay, and we dug it up from the ground. And over the course of an hour, this thing gets about 1200 degrees Fahrenheit, which is really, really good for cooking a pizza. You can cook a pizza in about 2 or 3 minutes. The whole general rule of thumb is the higher the temperature for a pizza oven, the better it cooks and the better it tastes. This is a little gadget I came up with. And when the trees blow, that's a beer can that it's kind of lubricates it, I guess you could say. So this slides back and forth with the wind. And this right here is not even screwed down this beam, so it'll just slide over the beer can. This is a 4x4 outhouse, and literally every bit of this is reclaimed material that I got from a house that was being demolished. So I got this old door from that. And they were building a house too, so they were putting up this hardy board siding. They had scrap pieces, so I did all that. Leftover materials. It's completely built from nothing. See the treehouse? This one we built, I think the total price was about 500 bucks. A lot of reclaimed stuff. That house that I used, that I got material from for the outhouse, all of this was from that as well. And this uses the same idea over there for the beer can. I actually got that idea from my friend Deke. He came up with that one. But this one, the whole idea It has a door underneath. We're gonna put a door there where that window is and come out and have a deck. And this will be perfect for a couple or one person for the weekend or for a couple days. By the time it's done, we'll have a little kitchenette and all that. You do an ass shot? No, don't. Yeah, there's not a lot to show in here. It's an empty shell, but it's fun. You can actually get an idea just by looking out this corrugated plastic how kind of high up. So once we put a door here, you'll be able to walk out. It's going to be a really, really cool spot. How long is this tiny house? About 28 feet?
Yes, 28 by 8.5.
So it's like what, 230 some square feet?
238.
238, okay.
It's 238.
So do you enjoy living out here?
Oh, I love it. I've been here going on for a couple of years now, and it's nice, peaceful, quiet, and very nice. It's just, you know, I've always lived in the city. First time I ever lived in the country.
Do you think tiny house living is good for like a single person like
Oh,
yourself?
I love it. I think one other person would be okay if I really like them.
Dad's house is kind of like on the basic side. It's more of like a budget tiny house, wouldn't you say?
It's kind of basic one.
Yeah, which is great for a lot of people. I think you paid, what, $26,000 for it?
Yeah, 26.
Which is about half of what the average tiny house is going for. But if you look at here, what's really cool, Dad is, how old are you now, 66?
Yeah.
Dad's 66 years old, so he can just climb up this and hop right into the downstairs bedroom, which a lot of people are looking for these days.
Yeah, I didn't want the loft.
You know what's really cool about touring this tiny house? If you look at most tiny houses on YouTube, it's just ones that are staged. On this one, you can actually get a first-hand glimpse of what it's like to live in a tiny house every single day. Like this is a lived-in, not staged. We gave Dad about a 30-minute notice that we're coming out. Yeah. This is what Dad uses to heat the house in the winter time. It's a propane heater. And I think Dad kind of lives by this mantra right here.
It's a washer and dryer. Washes and then it dries after it finishes.
Tell us about your little water system right here.
Oh, you know, it's like a little Berkeley here. What we do, we put the water come out of here. We got 3 filters anyway that comes from the rain system into here. And what we do, we just put the water in here and it trickles down here. It's got 2 ceramic filters in here, and it trickles down through there, and then that's the way that's my drinking water. And it's so clear, huh? It's nice and clear.
Crystal clear.
Crystal clear.
Here you go. Let's do some B-roll to show you the before and after. See if you can see the difference. Can you see?
This is before.
Mm-hmm.
And then after. Before.
Mm-hmm. Storage, yeah.
That's storage area. Yeah.
This is Dad's composting toilet. It's by a company called Nature's Head. It's kind of the go-to compost toilet for the tiny house world. Rainwater. Lay. Good boy.
This guy, when we had the workshop, his name was Uncle Bud. He built this building.
All right, thanks everyone for coming out here and checking out my tiny house compound. Hope you enjoyed the tour, and thanks for watching. No, sir. Come on. He doesn't want to leave. Hi, Dad. Keep it real.